Now, over the coming weeks, you're going to see some babies start drifting into barns, right? Harry's barn, Mario's barn are obvious destinations for some of those horses, and I'm not going to get into who they are now, but I am going to talk about Harry's barn because Harry Poulton's been on absolute fire all year. I dare say this is the best year Harry's had since, and it's only going to get better since he had Matt Scooter on the road again. I could be wrong. I didn't follow Harry's career that much when I was a real young kid outside of those two horses. I remember seeing him race Stargaze Hanover and good horses like that, but I think Harry Poulton is poised to have certainly not a career year. That would be silly to say, but the best year he's had in a long time, and I couldn't be happier for Harry Poulton. Here's a guy that loves his job. You can see, I could tell you when I first approached Harry Poulton about getting back involved with horses and working with us, the love for horse racing. This game, it'll wear you down, right? It'll wear you down, and that raw fire and passion that horsemen and trainers have for racing, you can waver after a while. And I just felt that Harry was in that position, right? Been there, done that type of mentality and attitude, the game's passed me by, maybe feeling, I don't know, that's how I felt. That was my take. And the way I see Harry Poulton now, bouncing around, getting his horses ready to go, when you feel that you're back on your game, I'm sure this is for every athlete, whether you're a baseball player, hockey player, or horse trainer, driver, when you feel that you're back on your game, it's a fantastic feeling, right? And I've been there. You go out and drive, and you drive like an idiot, like Frosty's Trouble the other night, and then come back with a decent race with Slim Jimmy. It makes you feel better. And then if you go out and happen to win a race, maybe today, if I'm lucky enough, you just feel great, right? You feel like you're on top of the world, and Harry Poulton must feel that way every single day right now. He's done a great job, and his horses are absolutely on fire. And it is simple work. I've told everybody this. Put them in where they can win, and get decent drives, have them healthy, sound, prepared, ready to race, and you will win races. And Harry is proving that right now. We have the horses in where they can do. He is absolutely on fire for the entire first start of the year, and I certainly don't think he's anywhere close to being done yet. I think he's going to have a great summer. So, almost there, boss. A little bit of a runaway last night. I'll tell you the truth. Scott Coulter called me to tell me, he was sorry that he kind of butchered the horse and paralyzed him. He let him roll 27, 55-4, 124-4, and was beat. And only for the racing gods, I guess, put Anthony Hahn's horse on the run halfway down the lane, who was clearly a winner, and almost there, boss, come back on and won the race after the break. So, a little bit of luck was given to us last night, but at the same time, we'll take it. A win's a win. Scott did say he thinks the horse is poised to do very well in the final. He just didn't want to shut his air off. I said, Scott, you've been around long enough. It's just 2 bad trips in 2 weeks for almost there, boss. But he's tough. He'll bounce back. And I think James is going to be there. That's that Camelot Classic night. Can't imagine James doesn't have a drive in it. So he'll be in London. Scotty Coulter said he's not going to be there next week. So James will be able to drive the horse, I hope. Amazon Dragon, I think, is getting closer to being back ready to go. I haven't talked to Harry very much about Dragon, but I know that he's training down and doing okay. Archer's Rainbow, I thought, raced fantastic for being off a month and having that issue, that abscess pop out of her shoulder. Man, she looked fantastic the other night. I think, fourth beat, a length at the very most. 58 being off a month just shows. I think she's going to be a nice filly for us, and no mention of any noise is made by her. This filly is overcoming an absolute deficit in her airway every time she races. It isn't, something you can fix. She was born with it. She's going to stay with her whole life. And Harry and his crew, and Danielle and Nellie and Anna have done a great job with that barn, and also a great job with this filly. Bolt Power bounced over to Flamborough, beat them up 53-4. Big mile for that colt on a half-mile track. He's back in to go at Mohawk this week. Again, having the flexibility to move the horses around and doing it well. Harry is just, his horsemanship and his understanding of what we're trying to achieve, and unshackling him and allowing him to do it have really, he's really grasped that well, and I'm just super happy with what I've seen from both Harry and his barn. Brave World was awesome again the other night, just raced great. Very proud of the big horse. He's been a good horse for us. Century Invictus, there's the horse. Now, a couple of questions to answer this week. How are you going to do in the grassroots at Flamborough? This is a horse I'm going to be completely upfront with everybody. James had mentioned it earlier in the year. This horse is a half-mile track horse. And if he's not going to be one of the best grassrooters, which he's in the mix, but I don't think he's nearly one of the best ones. And if he's not, you may see a horse like him end up at Yonkers, right? There's a lot of money to race for horses that, like him, got less than, what, 50,000 made? 3-4 wins on their card? There's a lot of racing ahead for Century Invictus, and quite frankly, it does not mean, keep in mind everybody, just because we say Ontario Sired does not mean we have to race in the Ontario Sired Stakes. Just don't have to. Sire Stakes program is great for the horses that can win it. Otherwise, you're just paying to get beat up, and we're not going to do that this year. So a lot of questions to be answered in regards to Century Invictus. And I'm not just saying New York is the way to go. Listen, we're having a lot of luck with Mark Beckwith. Who knows? Plainridge might have some classes for him. It's just a matter of picking up the phone, looking at the results, picking up the phone, talking to the trainers and saying, okay, where can this horse race? How good do we suspect he'll do? And how do we achieve that? It's not rocket science. I say this all the time, but it's not. So excited to see how he does Sunday, but a lot of questions lingering shortly thereafter. High Gear No Fear was good the other night, second and 55, closed up in the middle to be second and 55. Baby steps, getting back there. Locatelli's training down good, looks really good on the track. Miss Sophia Rose raced good last week, finished up third. No Free Lunch, 15 apiece, 26 seconds on the end of it. The horse starting to look good. I hope he can do in this class. James drove him good, he looked good, and I'm excited to see how he's going to race tonight. Resolute Bay, a lot of people asking, hey, why isn't Resolute Bay in? I get it. Everybody wants to see their horse race. And I know everybody sent, I get 2 messages this week saying, I hope you're not going to say the horses are short if they get beat when they're not raced. Let me be as crystal clear as I can be. And I had a conversation with both gentlemen, I believe. There might have been 3. And I hope they understood it. I think they do. You only have so many starts. We can put them in every week if you want, and they will be absolutely guaranteed 1,000% exhausted by September, October. If that's what you want, we can race them every week. Well, it's not what's going to happen. Resolute Bay races in a grassroots next Friday. We could have put him in Monday, and we could have pushed Blue Bayou Dio or Unbeatable Kemp. I could have done that. But why? Why not train the horse up, have him tight, race him at Mohawk on Thursday, in the non-winners of 2, where he fits, and then race him the following Friday? Great questions are coming in all the time, but let me be as clear as I can. As I said, I have no problem answering these questions, but when they're formed as statements, not questions, I'm going to answer them exactly like this. You have 18 starts max this year. Do the best you can on those 18 starts, because at that point they're going to get tired. And if we just race all throughout the heat, all throughout the summer, I guarantee you a little horse like Resolute Bay will be exhausted by mid-September. That's not me saying he could be. That's me telling you with absolute 1,000% certainty that he will. I don't mind getting questions. I think I love the feedback when people ask, hey, where's Resolute Bay? What's going on with him this week? I think I'm very clear with everybody. You know, we in a perfect world, we could have raced him on Monday, but then we would have run into having to school him or take him over to Mohawk and train on Tuesday. And I think it's good for the horse to have that opportunity to, rest a little bit, get trained up and race. You're going to have 18 starts. They're not all going to be fantastic, so we have to do the best we can to have them as good as we can for those 18 starts. And that's just management. We're trying to do the best we can here. So I was happy to wait till Thursday, race him Thursday, and then come back in 9 days to race him in the grassroots. And quite frankly, I had a conversation with another client, Bob, and asked where we going to race him. Bob had asked about why he wasn't in, but Bob also asked where we're going to race him. And I told him, I'm going to leave that up to Harry and James. If they put him in the Gold, I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be shocked. Nor would I be any more shocked or upset if they put him in the Grassroots. But I'm going to let that conversation take place between Harry and James. Now, I was happy to hear Harry say the other day he was going to put him in the Grassroots. I want to see the horse win. This horse, make no mistake, Resolute Bay is nowhere near even remotely fully matured. This is still he looks good, but he still has a ton of growing to do, a ton of filling out to do. He is nowhere even remotely close to being fully matured at all. His best races are way ahead of him. So that even begs the question, why are we pushing him too much now? We have to be able to manage this horse, not just for his starts, but for his maturity, because there could be a really, really good horse in there. There's a great family behind him. You know, he's totally different horse. He's a totally different horse than he was last year. So at the same token, just relax. Resolute Bay is going to race Thursday, back the following Friday in Grand River. Taiwan on now in Tim's care over here. I'm going to race her right now in another couple hours. I'll be on the track in the post parade with her. What kind of horse is she? Man, another horse that, we talk about staking. I'm going to talk about it in the opening. I'm sure you've already watched the opening. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to talk about staking and the role. Jeepers. The role it's played this year with some of our horses and how I view staking now as opposed to how I used to view it. And I think there's a lot of gray area with the staking that we don't think about. I know I didn't in my life, but I'm starting to see it now. And it's an entirely different world when it comes to the staking and what you can do, what you should do. Very interesting, so I'll give you my takes on that. If you haven't watched the opening yet, I'm pretty sure I'm going to talk about staking in the opening, and when it comes to Taiwan on, how it pertains to her also. Twinkle in Her Eye is now bred. Now, here's the thing. I looked at Twinkle in Her Eye when she had the 8-hole upper class. She didn't race very good at all. Harry said the same thing. She's going to miss that class. Theoretically, truth be told, she could be a non-Where's a 2 on the B track or a condition claimer, but she's worth way too much money to put in a condition claimer. So she could theoretically be a condition claimer that we can't race in a condition claimer. That would suck. So the breeding to Poppy Rob Hanover popped up on Preferred or On Gate, I think last week, and I bought it. We had Taiwan on checked. She had a big follicle. Had her shipped out to Jeff Rock's farm, breeding farm. Had the semen shipped in from Poppy Rob Hanover. Had her inseminated 2 days later. Now, from a layman's standpoint, and we have not had a good run at breeding. I can tell you that. I made a video today about how I thought our biggest loss would be financial in breeding, and it isn't. I'm learning, and it's become frustrating. But as a layman, I think big follicle plus Poppy Rob Hanover sperm equals mare and foal. Doesn't always work that way. So should be checked again in about a week or 10 days, and then we'll know if she's in full. Maybe we'll luck out and she's in full. I think this mare and foal to this sire is worth a lot of money, and this was always our exit strategy with a number of these horses. I talked about Will to Win Hanover in Dominic's barn a few minutes ago. Same goes for Twinkle in Her Eye in Harry's barn. We always knew when we bought these particular fillies that their worth was always safe in their ability to breed. So hopefully, Twinkle in Her Eye is in full. So with that, I will talk to you all very, very soon. That is Harry's barn. Still got Mario's barn. I'll be able to get that done before I get to the Meadows. Take care.